Fear is the enemy.
Glad you see the music box.
Whatever it is that you're going for, man, go hard. Hold on, never give up. You gotta have that mentality, man. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind who you wanna be. I know who I am, I know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. And that's word to my mom, word to my pops, word to my little bro. They said make your mistakes, but don't make excuses on why you can't live and learn. On a couple occasions I damn near went broke. I'm chasing this music thing, and I ran out of hope. I threw in the towel, said fuck the hole in the street. I kept on writing and touring. I picked up a job cause I knew it was important. The money I made, I would stash it away just to fund my recordings. And I didn't wanna stop cause I didn't know how. I would lay in my room by myself late at night, and I finally figured it out. I just wanna be the best version of me, make all the music that I wanna make. I don't care what nobody gon' say. You miss all of the shots you don't take. And the answer is no, if you don't ask. If it gets hard, this too shall pass. God is my witness and he got the plan. He got the plan. I put in the work, I spent a lot of time on the waiting list. Never complained, I ain't never said shit. Shoot my shot, no fear if I miss. Imagine you chasing a dream that you love, only to find out it wasn't enough. You fall on your face, but you get right back up. And you fall back again, but you get right back up, yeah. That's the way that it's always been. Don't nobody care about the grind but you. Nobody putting in the time but you. Make up your mind who you wanna be. I know who I am, I know what I want. Live by 2 words, mama mentality. Yeah. Remember, man, you only in competition with yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Pleasure and pain. R.I.P. the greatest. 0824.
One, two. Can you guys hear me? If you can, let me know you're out there listening. Welcome to another episode of Circle Talk. It's your good buddy DH. I am really excited for this conversation today. This is episode number 177. And that's crazy to think that started this thing 3.5 years ago, almost 3.5 years ago. And we're at episode 177. And today's guest is someone that has done a lot of influencing our youth and our adults in this community. And I'm really excited to, have a little bit of time to conversate with him about his life, his journey, and what it means to be a role model, a male role model in the community that we live in and the people surrounding. So we're going to tap in, talk to a young man named Thrett Brown going down. So make sure you guys tap in, tune in, share it out. Go to the Circle Talk on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you guys like and share it. Subscribe to us. We're going to continue rolling as long as you guys are continuing to watch us. So thank you guys so much for being here. But first, let me get into our sponsors. Thank you so much to iShotya.com. We'll start there. iShotya.com. Thank you so much for being a part of everything that I do. If you guys are looking for someone that is locally in the area that can get your pictures done and get them done right, whether there's wedding photos, family portraits, headshots for a job, or school photos, senior portraits. These pictures behind me, obviously, you see all those are my family members, my kiddos. Mr. Marvin Patterson took all the pictures inside of this house. And I'm very, very thankful for him being a part of everything that I do. If you want him to get you done and get your family done right, hit them up, iShotTo.com, and they'll give you a great price. Let them know I sent you. Next, I want to give a huge shout out to Icon ENT, a young man named Junior Thomas doing amazing work in our community in the party bus extravaganza. If you need someone to get you to any type of local event that you don't necessarily want to drive to, or you want to drive a little bit further, maybe if you're living in Tacoma, driving out to Seattle to go and see your Seahawks play, the Mariners, whoever you're interested in seeing, and you don't want to drive, all you have to do is hit up Icon ENT, and he will get you done to the place, to and from, in a safe and productive way. He has these party buses in all colors. He has TV screens. He has a little bit of drinky drink for those that love the drink. He has the whole thing going down, lights, the whole nine. It's a party inside the bus. When I say it's a party, it is a party. So hit up Icon ENT and he'll get you there and get you there in style. Last but not least, I want to give a huge shout out to Marquita Evans with Intentions Juice and Smoothies Bar. Thank you so much for your amazing work in our community. If you guys haven't heard of Intentions Juice and Smoothies or Marquita Evans, make sure you guys tap in. I mean, she is an amazing pillar in our community. She has a store out there on 52nd and South Tacoma Way, and she also has another store out in Seattle in the U District, and she's working on her third one here in Washington, Tacoma, downtown Tacoma, actually. She's doing amazing work, guys. Trust me. If you are not in tune with what she's doing, make sure you guys tap in, get to know all of our amazing pillars in this community and my sponsors. Thank you guys so much for being a part of everything that I do. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in a man of the hour. I'm not gonna keep him waiting any longer. Mr. Thrett Brown's in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Can you hear me? Okay, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, well, bro. I can hear you well, man. I
All right.
can.
Well, good deal, good deal. Thank you so much for being here, man. I know that we have been kind of trying to make this happen and touching base with each other, and we finally found the time and a date that worked best for us. So I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better, man. For real.
I appreciate it too, man. The touch base and touch and go. On time is on purpose. Divine timing is something that I've always believed in. So there's no better time to connect with you than right now. Until we meet in person, this is gonna
Absolutely.
work. This will work, man. For real.
Are you here in Washington right now?
Yeah, I'm right in Tacoma. I'm on Hill right now.
Oh shoot, man, we should have made it happen. That's my bad, man. I've been
Yeah, you
so
good.
a lot of things have been going on, this weekend. My son has been sick with strep,
Yeah,
and he's better now, but he's been dealing with some issues, and so I've been trying to, take care of him. And it's been a wild day. Trust me, when I said
yeah,
it's been a wild weekend, it's been a wild weekend. But I'm glad that we're gonna
yeah.
make this happen finally, brother.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We close, man. We close, bro. We're
I didn't
very close.
So let's do this. Since I'm first getting to meet you, what's up? Fatima's in the building. Thank you for
What
tapping
up,
in.
Fatima, man? That's my people, man. That's my people.
Sir. Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and do a quick before we get into the talk about just being a male asset, a male role model. Let's talk about you and just your upbringing, where you were born and raised, family time, what you did going up into high school, and then, just talk a little bit about that, the journey.
Yeah. Okay, well, again, appreciate the opportunity, man, to share me with your network. And I hope my network that do follow in and see me in here follow also with, Circle Talk, it's going to be a beneficial opportunity for everybody. And go watch the other 176 episodes as well. So don't forget that part,
Appreciate
So about me, I've been in the city of Tacoma since 1995. I'm native to Louisiana. I was born in Louisiana, a little town called Pleasant Hill. I'm from a small town, about 615 people since 2021 is how many
That's
people that live in my hometown. So I'm talking about small village, bro. And
right.
so, but my mother moved around. I got three sisters, my mom, I'm the only boy, you know, um, and my mother was the type of woman that loved to travel. She loved to be able to move around. So she wanted to get away from the deep south. And so we started to navigate into other locations like St. Louis. And my actual original first time ever coming to Washington State was in 1988. I came up here from St. Louis and I stayed in the Central District off of 27th and Cherry. And that's when the CD was like something different. I got turned on to gang culture then. but I didn't, get involved. I just seen it, firsthand, and moved back to Louisiana, and then stayed back home for a while. You know, as far as like my dad experience, most of the male figures in my life was incarcerated in prison. And, my dad died when I was like 6 years old, and what's crazy is I just actually found out how my dad really passed away about 2 years ago. I heard, my family say it was a car accident, but then, a good friend of his gave me the extreme details and stuff. So that was like mind blowing. I didn't believe that, you know, to find out some actual facts on how the passing of somebody took place could really affect you as an adult, even though you've accepted the death of the person a long time ago. But then to find out the truth of it is like that was mind blowing. So I've been, really focusing and still processing that experience of what the truth was. Um, and so I mean it's a lot with the story, so I could break my story down, but the typical young dude coming up in the community, bro, trying to figure it out. My mom couldn't handle me at a certain age, so I took out. First time getting to Tacoma in 95, I got intrigued by the streets. I wanted to be a part of it. I didn't find myself in the household, so I seen myself outside, so I believed. And so, I didn't realize that most of the young men in the streets that I was running with was also seeking for the same thing that I was. And, we couldn't find it amongst each other, but it made sense. And so, running with the wrong ones, I ended up incarcerated for 4 years. I got incarcerated in 1999. I sat down for 4 years, and in that 4 year stint, I started to do some self reflection and some real soul searching, for self validation versus being validated by my surroundings. And I denounced a lot of my gang activities. Though I can't shake what I've been affiliated with for years. I just denounced my gang activities and being involved with the gang culture like that, when I was in Column Bay, and that was an experience in itself. But when I done it, I got a lot of appreciation from my homeboys that seen that I had a bigger vision. And so I realized they wouldn't interfere with me pursuing my bigger vision. And that was a blessing to me because a lot of people don't, see it that way. And nor do a lot of people get that opportunity to really scale towards something better than what we was experiencing and stuff. So, and when I was released from prison in 2005, I just started another soul searching opportunity from leaving prison. It's one thing to develop an understanding of self incarcerated, and then to be free and try to implement this new finding of yourself in the culture of community. And it was like, okay, I got to reinvent myself again. And so I did that and just spent a lot of traveling from 2005 to 2010. 2005 to 2011, to about 13 different states in America, and got to meet a lot of different cultures in different cities and communities, and ended up coming back here in 2012 and started committing in programs and building relationships with my nephews. I got a 15-year-old son that'll be 16 in May. Amazing gentleman. We going through our process of really getting clarity with each other. It's a story behind that in itself. But I got four amazing nephews that I've been building with tremendously in community, and those been my support systems for this last decade of change. So for a nutshell, that's me, bro. I learned a lot, grew a lot. My mother was the best influence. Now that I'm older, she instilled most values in my life that helped me stay out of trouble and become the person I am right now.
Absolutely, man. I think it's amazing when first and foremost, shout out to all my family down in Louisiana because my family's from Louisiana too.
Oh man,
A small town called Natchitoches. I'm sure you probably heard of.
it is. Yeah, bro. Yeah, for me, my sister's from Natchitoches.
Yeah, that's where my family's
Yeah.
down there, bro. That's where all of us is from. I got here because my dad was in the military, obviously, but
Okay.
I
Okay.
got similarities in my story, and I wanted to just dive into that just a little bit.
Mhm.
When it comes to finding the idea of becoming a positive male role model, you've talked about the journey without your father around. He passed when you was about 6, right?
Right.
Uh, and it was just you and moms for the most part, and your sisters.
Yeah.
Um, at what point during your journey, obviously you went to the hole for one stint, then you got out, and you said you wanted to retool yourself to become a better version of yourself. But something had transpired that put you back into, um, I guess, the wrong path and ended up in the hole again, right? At what point, what was it that finally, what light finally went off and told you, okay, these choices that I continue to make, I know I want to be a better version of myself, but these choices that I continue to make aren't the ones that are going to make me get to this place where I truly want to get to. What was it that got you to that place where you said, you know, I'm done with that lifestyle. I'm going this way and not looking back?
Great question. I feel like the thing that made me really transition, it took like 2012. That's when I was real like I pressed the line on the buck, and I was like, my sister had called me early in the morning one day and was like, I understood what she was going through because I understood the hell that I put my mom through as one young man. My sister had three young men, and I love my nephews to the day because they also my greatest mentors. We'll unpack that here soon too. But my sister called me one day and she was like, bro, what I'm saying? Your nephews, and they was living in Texas at the time. She was like, your nephews and them, they growing, and she said, I see you in them, and if we can't get a hold of it, then I can see where this could lead to. And I was like, okay, well, boom. I was on my way to LA because I had made some major connections in LA. We found out that Snoop Dogg was our cousin. So I started getting in contact with this gentleman. We was going to start making some stuff happen, which we still going to tap into that later. But we made those connections. And so I had a choice. Do I either go to LA and pursue this or do I help Big Sell with my nephews? And at that time, I had a son. My son was born, but it was just some issues with a whole bunch of extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, if I was to leave now and something was to happen to me, what skill sets will my nephew and them have been instilled with? So I said, let me pump my brakes and let me pour as much as I could possibly pour into my nephew, because these are the only three gentlemen that I know that are relevant to me in my life right now. And I know that what I didn't have as a young man growing up, I want to be able to put into them because at the drop of a hat, anything can happen to me or any other influential person. So I say, me instilling all of the positivity I can possibly muster up, and I just start pouring it in my nephews. And we did that for a whole summer, and in that summer, I started to learn that not only do I apply the positivity in myself, but I see it works in other people, and when I seen that what I was instilling into my nephews, they was implemented to themselves, which end up showing me in return the things that I needed to know, and so that's how it became a win-win because, it's that phrase, we can put knowledge out there, but if the knowledge is not retained and re-implemented, then it's like poor knowledge. So what I was sharing out, they was giving back to me. And so I was like, boom, we on to something. And then from that moment, I said, I can't leave this world without my nephews. If anything, knowing things that is more valuable and important for them to gather for themselves and stuff. So that was my turning point, and to narrow it out, I just believe that, all of this traveling and going, I was going to every hood around in America, I'm going to every dangerous spot you could think of. And I was always saying I might not make it back from some of these cities, Columbus, Ohio, Houston, Texas, Mobile, Alabama, Denver, Colorado. I was like, it's a chance. So let me make sure they can get something. And that was my turning point in case something did happen. And so from 2012, I just switched the game up.
That's awesome. So I had a quote that I had picked out. I'm gonna look it up real quick because I wanted you to just talk about what you were thinking about when you wrote this quote. Let me look it up really quick. Here it is. You said, if you don't think the devil will support you to gain access to your soul, think again. Touch a little bit on that because I found out on one of your pictures that you had posted, and I was like, I really like what that means, but at the same time,
Mhm.
there's some darkness to that as well.
Yeah,
So
very much.
explain that a little bit.
So, and to be, on a platform, I done read the Bible thoroughly. I don't project my beliefs or my clarity of the Bible from me to other people. I don't just pour into people like that. But for what I get out the Bible, my understanding of the Bible was, I was supposed to meet Christ. You know what I'm saying? I was to meet Christ, not to sit with him and walk with him 24 hours a day. I was supposed to meet him in order to be connected to the one who sent him with the message. So the Father is the ultimate decision maker, and that's why Christ told me, regardless on what other people take from me, he told me, he said, come to me in order to build a relationship with the Father that sent me. The strength is in the conversation that I have with him through scriptures. The power is in me making the connections of why he came here to connect me. And so when I prayed, I used to pray to Christ a long time ago. And then Christ, through scriptures, told me, I'm not the one that you should pray to. You pray to the Father. You pray to the Creator. Pray to the one who sent me, because that's where your blessings come from. And he told me consistently in scriptures, nothing I can do for you without the consent of the one who sent me. Any blessings that I can do, whether it's a healing, a miracle, whatever person may say, it's not me doing it, it's the one that works through me. And so I caught sense of what he was saying. And so now when I realize that I've been given, if people, we've been given these powers to manifesting as long as we believe in the connector. And so most people pray, and when they pray, they believe that God is answering their prayers, and a lot of the times, most of the prayers that come to people who don't live a righteous lifestyle, those prayers aren't being answered to provide you with what's important. Those prayers are being given to you to distract you from what the truth is. And so the devil will give you the things that you want to keep you in alignment with what he's doing. He got a bigger picture. So manipulation is important. So if I'm not directly connected to what the truth is, and the truth is the only way to the Father is through the Son, my understanding in life was I needed to get an understanding of the Son in order to make a connection with the Father. And most people in life, they just go make the connection with the Son and just keep it right there. And it's like, that's not my space. And so when Christ told me, if you ask for things, ask of it through the Father. Now you can ask in my name, but make sure that you ask for the blessings to come from him, because just like he blessed me, he will bless you. And so people got this facade that, I thank God for blessing me with the house. And it's like, for me, God don't bless me with the house, with the ability to manifest the house, because that's the power. Because my creator, my Father, don't care about the material things of this world. He just care about the ability, can I manifest the power that he's granted me? And as long as I can do that with his blessings, then I win. And we living in a society where now people are feeling grateful for all of these material things that they possess, and continue to lead a distracted life, and it's deception that they don't really understand. So again, like when the devil was trying to tempt Christ to jump from the mountain and to turn the bread the stone into bread, it's like those are the things that the devil would do to make a person follow him into the depths of his demise without them truly knowing that it's the wrong way. So that's what I meant by that, bro, if that makes sense.
Deception. That word
Yeah,
is powerful,
bro.
bro. Like
For real.
it, it really, like, it just sums it up in a nutshell. The
Mhm.
devil is very intelligent.
Very
He's a lot smarter than most of us think.
right.
And he will give you everything that you want to
Right.
avoid
Yeah.
reaching God,
Right.
a higher
Right.
power. You know what I mean? So that you stay in this straight and narrow, and God's standing over here waving at you like, I'm over here waiting for you to talk
Yeah.
to me.
It's great.
No, you got all these material things in your
Right.
pathway
Mhm.
that continue to come to you, praying for
Right.
a car, praying
Yeah.
for a couple dollars, praying
Yeah.
for a new boyfriend, whatever the case
Mhm.
may be.
Mhm.
And the devil's like, sure, let me go ahead and give this, give
Seriously.
this, and give this,
Yeah.
and keep them in front of me and not
Yeah.
see the truth over here. You
Mhm.
know,
So
deception.
truthful.
Ooh, I love
That's
that.
it.
I
That's
love
what
that.
it is. And I'm glad how you outlining the things too, because people can, like I just did a post on TikTok the other day.
Yeah.
People put their value in the things that they obtain, the things that they possess. And it's like the accomplishment come from, oh, I got this, or the accomplishment come from, oh, I've attained that. But then it's like, how did I get these things? Let me go to the mindset that I was giving in order to even make this possible. So, okay, the possessions is cool, but I'm going back to thank you for me the abilities to be able to do these things. So now that when it comes down to what matters, it's the mindset that you've given me to make these things matter. So it doesn't even matter over here about my possessions or the treasures that I obtain. That thing's irrelevant. It's the mindset that you give me and the power of will to manifest these things through your guidance as the higher being, as my Father and the Creator, etc. So yeah, bro, I appreciate you appreciating. you know,
That's powerful. I mean, because I love to just dive in and get people's thought processes on certain things that they post. I'm really a critical thinker myself. And when you posted that and I seen it, I was like, ooh, I don't know about that because there's a
yeah,
lot of power to it. But I just wanted to hear your perspective on it. And I mean, deception is as big as it gets right there with that. So let's talk about being a positive male in our communities. Let's talk about how important it is here, especially in 2024, when we're seeing a lot of these kids that are so engulfed in, the internet and these game consoles, and they're not really paying attention to their parents. They're growing up faster than they should because of all these other things that are creating intelligence the wrong way. How important is it to you to continue being a male role model, and what are some of the key components to us being positive male role models versus the opposite? What are some of the things that you use to talk to the kids and even the adults and the circles that you go through?
Yeah, so that's the best question that I've always asked. I ask myself it on a day-to-day basis, like what are we missing? Because as people that understand now, we miss a lot. And I just did the post before I even got on here. We miss a lot when we forget when we was young. It's like, and we can't act like nobody tried to reach us. I can't do that. I can't act like nobody tried to tell me which direction I should be turning, based off their experience. And then the more I reflect on how, you know, um, naive I was as a young person, or how hard I was to receive the information that one was giving me, you know, the moment I forget that with myself, then I exclude the young people. Then it makes the young people look like they don't get it, that they just lost. And it's like, no, they're not lost. They just don't got enough patient people with them to understand what does this feel like? What does this even mean? We're dealing with young people who have a lifestyle that they're experiencing for the first time. It doesn't matter if they're 14, 15, 16, 21. This is their first time being 21. Some of us has been 21 twice already. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have to double back, and then I can't be as discouraged. I can't be as amazed or shocked about what I'm seeing. It's like, this is what we were. We just got a chance to reflect and see ourselves. Sometimes people can't see themselves in action. And so when we look at our kids now, it's like we're seeing ourselves in action and we're in denial. And so that's why they look so vicious in what they do. It killed me when I hear a lot of my friends say, hey, it's the problem with these kids. They don't fight. And it's like, so how many friends did we lose to prison? How many friends did we lose to the cemetery? And why are they in the cemetery? Because none of us was really fighting nobody. You know what I'm saying? So we can't keep throwing them under the buses if they don't get it. It's just, no, we don't get it. And we're not putting enough understanding in our truth of it's not us to blame. But now that I know, you know what I'm saying, like when Christ said, it's one thing to not understand the concepts of sin, then you can be saved. But once you understand the concepts of sins and don't do nothing, then you become worse off than the person that do sin unbeknownst to themselves, right? So now I know that our kids are lost because we are not serving a bigger purpose. It's not their fault that the circumstances they're in. And I can't say it was our fault, but now that I know there's something I can do about something that they don't truly understand. And I can't get the majority of my peers to understand that because, when it comes to mentoring, I look at the mentoring concept. I see my peers say, well, I just want to focus on my kids in my house. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does it mean to focus on your kids when there's kids out here who don't have nobody to focus on them? And if it's a focus, anything can happen to me at any given moment, like I was saying earlier. So if it can happen to me, the instilling of mentorship doesn't just happen in my house. It got to happen in the community too. Because if it happens to me and something happens to me, then my kids are vulnerable to the bigger world of the community that we live in with no structure. So how do we implement mentorship as a broader perspective? I can't mentor the whole community by myself, but if it's enough of us that's willing to take this mentorship away from the home and even into the streets, and I feel like we can cover more, and then putting these young men that we see in a position to be empowered instead of being taught and trained or educated on something. Because, when we're young, what do you guys think? I'm stupid? You don't think I know what I'm doing? And it's like, no, you don't know what you're doing. And no, you're not stupid, but your ignorance is going to put you in a position to where you're going to learn the hard way and then regret that you should have just listened to somebody. So now that I understand that pride is a crucial thing, I can't press up against a young person's pride. I can't press up against their macho or their ego, because it's going to make them push back because they don't know processing. They don't understand how to respond to a person that's trying to educate. So like I say, I come down to this space and I build rapport. And now I want to let them know that you're just as powerful as I am, because you can go to the same penitentiaries as me. You can have just as many kids as I can. You can get just as many this as that. So now they feel like equals. It's like, it's not an equal, but being on the plane of living and dying, we're equals. So now I can teach you more than what you know right now, but I can also learn more from you as you get it. And so as long as they know that they can teach me something in return, then that's what I realize young people are able to work with you a lot better in the space of growth. They got to be able to see that, well, what are you going to learn from me? It's like, you're going to teach me something too, bro. So the mentoring goes both ways with me. Early on my programs, I treat young people at 13. That's my business partner. I introduce to anybody from the mayor, city councilman, the governor. When they meet me and my young people, I say, these are my business partners. And they really are, because as they get older now, they're really my business partners, and we really conducting real good business. So mentoring has to not just be only in the house. And for any Black man that feels that, look, I'm just tending to my kids and, I'm gonna focus on my family, and, that's just where it is. It's like, that's sad on you, bro, because you're one of the reasons why everybody else's kids is out here like this, because their dad's absent, but we used to run with his dad back in the day. And then nobody trying to do nothing to make sure that they can get clarity. We forget the process and expect them to just get the process. It's like, it don't work like that. We got to be present. You know, I
Wow,
hope that made sense.
that's huge though. I mean, it's basically in a nutshell, you're saying it takes a village. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, if my kid is acting up at your house and you put him in his place, I'm gonna be okay with that because I trust that we are on the same page when it comes to raising our children and vice versa. If your kid comes to my house and he gets out of line, I'm gonna sit down and have a conversation with him, but at the same time there's going to be some kind of I guess a sense of respect. Obviously I'm going to respect him as a child, but at the same time when I have to become a father figure, I'm going to remind him where I am, the things I've been through, and how you're going to eventually get to the place that I'm at. And so this is me teaching you how to maneuver through things in a right versus a wrong manner. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's something that I find myself doing that a lot. And it's not just tending to mine, but I tend to any kids that come over to my house. My daughters always bring their friends over for parties. My son, the same thing. If they at my house, then I officially become dad. and and so I have to teach them. I'm gonna respect them as much as they respect me. But then if they are out of line, then obviously I got to do my due diligence and say, hey, this is what needs to happen. I mean,
100%.
here, let's
Yeah.
try and do it the way that my kids do it, so that there's no issues. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so I totally get it. The village thing is
I want to add something to that too, because I'm glad you said that, because one of the phrases that I added to that, the village thing, like I said, if it takes a village to raise a child, now we're in a space to, well, what does it take to raise the village then? Because now it's hard to even comply and create the village to raise the child, because people in the community don't even want to compile as a village. It's like they lost sight of what that even means anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I do believe in the village raising a child, but then, if we don't have a village that's willing to be responsible for that, then, okay, so how do we create that? By separating the egos, and everybody's trying to be the chief leader of the village. And it's like, no, bro, we all chief leaders of the village. If you step up to the plate and be a responsible person and willing to communicate amongst there's no hierarchy, but like you said, if I got to start jumping into father mode or dad mode, then it's going to be done in a way that a young person be like, well, yeah, I ain't never had nobody to guide me, so I'm willing to listen to you. It's a respect thing, So I'm in a space of, I want to know how to raise the village. I want to know how to create the village, because that's one thing that we lack so much. And, and it's crazy because it's out there, I can see it in silos. I can see it in silos, but I don't see it on the surface enough, like they did in the 50s and stuff. It's like those traditional ways of being present. It's like, dang, they're smashed out, you know what I'm saying? But the presence is still there, and we can still make it happen, especially about things that we're talking about and doing right now.
absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm with that 100%, bro.
So let's talk about obviously you've been doing a lot of great work. And I posted a couple pictures on your video, and I noticed one of them you had said something about being scared to talk to these young people that because you had went out of the state. I don't know exactly where you were. You didn't put anything about where exactly you were at, but you were sitting in a picture with there was probably about 6 to 8, young people around you. Talk about that situation, that period, what exactly happened, transpired. I don't know if you remember. I got the picture. If you want me to post the picture,
Yeah,
but
I think it's the picture when I was in Brazil, though. I think it
yeah,
was a picture of me in
yeah.
Brazil. That was something, a different experience for me because it was out of the country. My first time ever leaving the country. Um, as far as as that, it's like I didn't understand the language of Portuguese, in that specific
Oh,
picture,
it
and
totally.
so you know what I'm saying? So being in that space, it was like so empowering because this is a whole new culture of people that we need to be tapping into. How do we combine cultures without offending anybody or, making the wrong efforts or approach, without a person rejecting you in a sense, and I think that experience for me was very crucial. Now, when it comes to like the young people, these young people could be intimidating. They can be very intimidating, and you know, young people is killing people left and right. And it's like, okay, let me not act like I'm not familiar with that. And the moment that I'm able to tap into that, then it's like, okay, I understand. It's not normalized, but it's normalized to me. It's not something that I just accept, but I accept it because this is just what's happening. And you know, in lieu of the transition of comprehension with young people, my hyper focus now is on who's alive. I'm trying to figure out who's alive because once a person is canceled, then they're canceled. There's not much that can be done about that besides mourning, and mourning doesn't get me anywhere. So who's alive and who's want to stay alive and who wants to move forward? So the moment I can start seeing what young person is alive, then that moment we can start to make transitions to a better space. And you know, how many other can we not save, but how many other can we help find their purpose and help find their abilities to make changes within themselves, which is ultimately changes in the community. That's the most important part when it comes to like engaging with these young people. For me, is helping them find a purpose without finding their purpose for them, so they can make it so it can seem as if they discovered these things on their own. Which, if you allow them to, they will. Which is extremely empowering in itself, because the moment a person realizes that you help them get somewhere, then it doesn't feel like they was 100% in control of that. Now I'm redefining that person, and that's not comfortable for nobody. So I've learned through my certified peer counseling is that, self-discovery, help a person discover what it takes for them to be great and not tell them what it could take, because, as long as you can help them pick out certain things that'll be beneficial for them, then that empowerment will make it ultimately beneficial for everybody that's around them, including yourself. So I'm learning a lot in that space, man, and it's a great moment to be in. Surrounded by young people is a brilliant space, bro, because these young people are, you get too aged out, they be like, old head, man, nobody trying to hear nothing y'all talking about because there's no relatability. But, I don't connect with young people because I want to chill with you and be your friend. I'm
Right.
connecting with you because I want you to know that I understand where you at and there's a way out. So I have to look the part to some degree for them to even see, okay, boom, I'm trying to hear what you're trying to say because I want to be out this level too.
Hey,
You
so
know,
we Fatima is still in the building. I appreciate you for tapping in, young lady. I've known her
yeah,
a long time. I'm sure you've known her as well. And I think both of us had an opportunity to, work with her son. Talk a little bit about her and her son a little bit, man.
man, that's my dude, man. I mean, like I said, the name describes a lot,
Yeah,
and it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that the young man name is Amazion, you know what I'm saying? So, and that young man has so much power, and that's one of those circumstances too. As long as a young man like that can live long enough, which he will, as long as he can live long enough to see his potential, then he'll realize that, bro, you can control the narrative of everything that you're surrounded by. You know what I'm saying? These things play a strong part in your life, and it's sometimes due to our lack of power or our lack of understanding of self that we don't know that in any situation, I can control this narrative. I can really redirect this whole situation, if I really tapped into myself. And so, him learning and experiencing the things that he has been experiencing in his short little piece of time of being in this planet, that surpassed a lot of adults that I know, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, I'd rather have a conversation with that guy. That's my mentor too. He'll let you know, yeah, I mentor Threat too. That's my mentor because I'm like, if you can figure out how to avoid the things that you're experiencing right now, then you can also help me understand how to avoid the similar things that I could be experiencing right now. So that's what people fail to forget. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with a person who's lost gun violence, who's been directly impacted in these circumstances to the same sense of gun violence. And facing with prison time and jail time. It's like, so what are the differences? What's maturity? If most of my friends are acting like teenagers, then they're no different than a young man. So I'd rather build a relationship here. But, and like I tell Fatima that, by him being in the space that he is and any other support group that's around him, but I'm going to go back to the mom, because I didn't understand the impact that my mom had until I went to prison for 4 years and reflected on who's been there. And I was like, boom, that woman's been there the whole time. And so he understands the power of his mother too. And he understands it way earlier than what I did. And that's why I commend her by being a mom that is constantly there. And I share with her a lot of times too. Don't be in a hurry to chase him anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Don't, because you'll spend the rest of your life trying to chase a young person around the world. You know what I'm saying? Just, like I say, be there. You know what I'm saying? And when he redirect and come home for clarity and to get his wounds licked or something, be there, because eventually he'll realize that, damn, every time I get caught up, nobody's there but you. You know what I'm saying? Every time I get caught up, you're always the one that's here. So at some point, let me listen to you more. Even if I'm gonna go back out there, let me just listen to you more so I can be properly prepared when I'm out here in the space again. And so I commend her every time I get a chance to, talk with her about, because she's doing a great job. She's done a great job. And, it's amazing, you know what I'm saying? Because I know many moms and then just tapped out and gave up. And in clarity, when I say tapped out and gave up, they didn't even find other solutions or remedies or resources for their child before they just said, my hands is clear. When you can find something that you realize to be beneficial for your child, I'll be honest to yourself, and you do that, then that's also the right move. Because like my sister called me at 3:00 in the morning and was like, bro, they're yours. And I was like, who? I said, she said, these 3 dudes over here. And so my sister, as a single, there's mothers who don't raise their sons, but for a woman to realize that this is too much for me, I have to make the right decision. So I'm going to do what I feel is right. And that was the best decision she could do for herself. And it was also the best decision she could do for me. And just like Fatima reaching out to me for as far as Amazing, because that became the best solution for me outside of my family to build that relationship. And that's going to be that's still one of my best business partners now. You know what I'm saying? And as we grow, you know what I'm saying, we're going to know more. You know what I'm saying? I love that little dude to the max, bro. I really, really do. That dude's phenomenal.
Shout out to Amazing and the team. Both
for sure.
Amazing.
Sure.
Keep grinding, sister. I know things have gotten hard, and a lot of struggles have come within your journey, but you are doing an amazing job with your son. Shout out to Amazing. That dude done sprouted up.
Didn't he, bro? Didn't he, though? He just did my video this morning, man. I just tapped in with him this morning a little bit. Shot in my number, man. Yeah, that's my dude, bro. You know what I'm talking about.
So Thrett, when you think about your life journey, and let's say you was to find out that tomorrow was your last day, what do you want people to remember about you, man?
I found out tomorrow. What was crazy is me and my mother had talked. Look, me and my mom had talks on a crazy times, because I knew when I was traveling, my mom used to always be like, son, you be careful. I say, Mom, you can't keep telling me to be careful when I'm going out here, because if you're telling me I can't go to Houston, Texas, and never been here and go into the heart of this community trying to be careful. You know what I'm saying? I got to go out here with confidence and just know that I'm good, period. But if I'm thinking about you in the background saying, well, then I'm mismoving. Now I'm being too overly cautious and stuff. So, my biggest thing has always been, I've realized that nobody leaves this planet until they're completely done with whatever it is they was here to do. It doesn't matter how young a person is or how old a person is. When you're done here, that means your job was completely done and you accomplished every single thing that you had to. I don't care how tragic it may appear, how gruesome it may look, or how young a person may have been. Once you're checked out, your job is complete. And so I tell my mom that don't worry, because when I'm done, I told her the world's going to blow up. We're going to move to the sun if somebody kill me, right? And so me and my mom believe that. We rock with that 100%. And so if I was to leave this world peacefully tomorrow, then to be remembered as somebody that a lot of people help grow. I want many people to be able to say, I help, help Thrett get clarity that he wanted over the bigger picture, because my thing is I want ultimate growth. The ultimate growth is just not me growing. If I can't grow with a group of people that's growing, if I can't lean on you, I want people to know that Thrett was coachable. You know what I'm saying? He was misunderstood by a lot of people, but when you got to know him, the dude was very coachable. And I'm glad that he took some of my advice and applied it and made change. You know, that is what I aim for, you know. And I look at the greats. I look at the greats, people that came before us. You can pick them, you know, the Christ, the Martin Luther King, the Malcolm X's, all of these powerful brothers, and they all ended up with the same outcome, you know, and that's by design, you know. And so I always say to myself is, if I'm not, it's got to be something different for me if I don't go out the way that the greats did, because I'm in alignment, man. And I talk to my mom, I'm her only son, but I've said, if these people don't come for me, mom, I'm not doing my job right, you know? So I have to align with what makes the most sense, you know? And when I read my brother Christ's word, he said, just know that the people come to kill you, just know that they kill me first. So the good shepherd is one who lay down his life for his friends. I'm not here to be for everybody. I'm here to impact as much as I can, because there's no telling what tomorrow may bring. So if my impact is not impactful enough to make change, then I'm not doing the right job. And I believe that I've accomplished a lot. I've impacted a lot of people. So I'm ready to go at any given moment, you know, and the moment that I do go, I feel like, you know, truth will reveal itself. And I know that a lot of people will be able to do more in the absence of me too, you know, because a lot of people still depend on me to a degree. And it's hard for some people to move forward, you know, because I'm still present, you know. So it's like, I have to check out at some point. I don't see myself as a long living life person. You know, I really don't, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to, you know, because I got different purposes. I believe in the Most High. I believe in the Creator well beyond. I want to be home with the Creator more than anything, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's my biggest challenge. Do you want to come home with me, or do you rather stay on this earth with the people? I want to go home. You know what I'm saying? So until I go home, let's do what we got to do. But I'm ready to check out all the time. All the time I'm ready to check out.
I I don't mean to cut you off, but that is one of the most powerful things that I've heard in a long time. I think when you truly realize your worth, why you are on this, why you were put on this earth, and you are following your path, it's nothing to be afraid of if it's time to go,
That's right.
because you know that when you leave this body, this flesh, that your soul is going to be with a higher power. You're the reason why we're put on this earth. You know, we're all vessels. We're all out here trying to save lives, trying to save souls. That's why we're put on this earth. And when you get to a place in your journey where you're like, if I go, then I go, then you know you're in the right path. You're going on the right path. When you have that mind frame and you feel
Yeah.
like you are here to create a path for others and put your life on the line for others, and not be afraid to go into these places where you're not necessarily wanted, but you're going to go in there with God at your side, and knowing that whatever comes to you is his way.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
That's
thing. I swear that's I try to embody that in myself in everything that I do. You know, like this platform was given to me by a higher power so that I can share people's stories of good, the bad, the ugly, but triumph at the end of it all. You know what I mean? And so for me, I totally love that. That's one of the biggest things to me that I've taken out of this whole thing, is the fact that yes, I am gonna go into these places where I'm not wanted, but this is where he wants me to be. This is what he
right up.
wants me to do. If it's my time, then it will be my time.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then let me go in here and do his work.
Right up, bro. 100%.
Powerful, man. That's powerful.
Powerful, bro. I want to say one thing too. And this is something that people don't know. You know, I had a building. You know, I'm gonna keep it brief. I'll share the story more and unpack it a lot more in the future. But I had a building up here that was over on 12th and Ferry Street, and some people came and set my building on fire. They ended up setting the wrong building on fire. You know what I'm saying? They blew down the wrong building that was next door to mine. And you know, I don't have problems with the community. I don't have problems with the hood. I'm not pointing fingers at who and whatever the case may be. And I'm not for sure pointing fingers at the people who had the property, because, you know, they was ready to get rid of their property a long time ago, and they just got rid of their property now. So the moral of it is, I'm so good at what I do that the moment I got the building, somebody set the wrong building on fire because they ran a gas line from the back of my building under the floorboard into my water tank. You know what I'm saying? And I smelled gas in my facility one day, and I was like, "Dang, what's that?" And I called the landlord, and was like, "This gas or electric?" She said, "Electric." I said, "Well, I smell gas." She was like, "Well, there shouldn't be no gas." So I found the wire and I walked it all up under my water heater. And once I found it, I pulled it from under the board and snatched it up under my building and drew it out. And the next day, the house next door. So if you go online and look at 12th and Ferry Street fire, there was the house they had just built, because I was online saying, "Man, we finally got the building, bro. We finna get stuff taken, you know what I'm saying, make stuff happen, and got community we got to do our thing with the young people, empowering young brothers in the community. This is our headquarters and this and that, you know." And then they was building something, the same thing I was promoting the facility that we had. So somebody came and ran a gas line, and then another group came and burnt down the wrong building. And so I was like, dang, so what is that? What is that? You know what I'm saying? And it was literally, you know what I'm saying? And so ever since then, I've been like, okay, you know, what is what, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not afraid of anything. And I'm here to go harder in the paint, you know, because I need to make sure that, for whatever it is, like I say, whatever I got to do, bro, I'm getting it all out my system, you know, because off of that move that people don't know. And that's why I be looking at people like, they be talking, you know, community this and community. I'm like, look, bro, people stop working with me, bro, because I'm too honest about empowering our kids, and I'm too upset with most people profiting off of our kids. You know, it's like, not to take up too much of the time, but, you know, people say, what is the comparisons of community infrastructures and the youth in the community? It's like, in comparisons, and I make this analogy all of the time, you take a buzzard and vultures. Buzzards and vultures, they feast on dead things, and they get full off of dead things, and they hover around until things die. So to taxpayers that's listening, to single parents who's listening, to young people who's out here listening, people are waiting for you to die to get full. And as long as you're on the streets dying, they're getting full. Nobody truly benefits from the community like that besides the people that's overseeing the things. And that's not the majority, but the majority of the people that are overseeing everything is the profiters off the demise of our community and our kids. So it's hard to say that people want to see change when I see my peers putting themselves in the positions to profit a career off of the violence of our kids. It's like, you can't come into this work to say that you want to be mentors and youth impactors and hope to make a career off of this, because now you're going to always need this problem to be relevant in order for you to pay your mortgage and your bills and your insurance. Totally different topic of discussion in the future, but I just want people to know that we can save more money, tax dollars, by empowering our young people through enterprise and knowledge versus spending money to incarcerate and confine our kids. And if you start to eliminate the people that are profiting off of the kids and start empowering the kids who are in trouble, then we can curb the narrative of that too. But don't nobody want to talk about that shit, because many people are on the verge of losing their job if you start doing it the right way. And the kids can become empowered while everybody else become depowered. So this is the struggle hand that we got going on. And so shout outs to whoever tried to blow up my building a couple years ago, because you can have the building, you know what I'm saying? It's not about the building. I'm in the community doing this work. So I know, like I say, I'm not afraid of anything, bro. But when I see people making moves like that and then tampering with the brakes on my truck, you know what I'm saying? I see things that's taking shape and form, bro. And I'm not saying who or what, but I'm not ignoring the things that do take place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm continuing to do this work, and I'm gonna go even harder in the paint about everything. That's my spiel.
Absolutely, man. Speak on it. Tell them. Let them know.
Yeah.
You know, you guys can do what you guys try to do to take me down, but I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
grinding. I'm gonna keep coming
Yeah.
for you. I'm gonna keep coming for these kids.
You
You
can do
know,
it, bro.
stop me.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
amazing. Uh, well, I want to say this real quick. We still got some viewers watching. We got about 7 minutes left, you guys. If anyone has any questions for Threat that they haven't asked yet, please go ahead and drop them in the comments. Shout out to all our viewers over on TikTok, Instagram. We got viewers on YouTube and Facebook. Shout out to all you guys watching. I appreciate you guys for being here.
For sure.
So I'm gonna ask a question about um, your son. What
Mhm.
if I was to ask your son about you? What would he say about his dad?
Well, that's the first time somebody ever asked me that question. What my son would say about me is, he would say I'm a great person. He would say I'm a great person for sure, because there's no denying that. But it's so many different hands at play, if you know what I mean. You know,
Absolutely. Oh, I
that
know.
create a narrative that creates a narrative of him not fully understanding the whole picture of about what is,
Yeah.
and I don't indulge him into the bigger adult concepts of the narrative of our relationship, but you know, yeah, I don't think that he has the best perspective of me because I'm the type of person that I'll leave things where they at before I just make things a mess, you know what I'm saying, and let it figure itself out in the long run.
Yeah.
And I'm not the type of dad that if things isn't going right, I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna blow your phone up, I'm gonna do this. It's like either people are gonna be truthfully honest about everything that's on the table or you're not. I'm not the person that poke fingers or put the blame on nobody. I'm not gonna say this is the reason that this and that, but I just let people make up their decisions, because there's a lot of things that I don't have power over in the relationship that I have with my son. There's a lot of things that I don't have in my possessions to do X, Y, and Z. And so I don't, what I'm saying? I don't push no lines. I instill what I can. I think that the best thing for me to say to answer that question is that I will want my son to know that, my door is always open. My phone is always available. If you really want to talk heart to heart, it's got to be an open conversation that we both got to have. We got to hear each other out. I'm down to hear you 100%. And really ask the questions as far as me to my son, ask the true questions about what the narrative is, and then get the full picture, you know what I'm saying? Because, he's hurt right now. I'm hurt right now. You know what I'm saying? And we, really trying to get a true clarity on what is, you know what I'm saying? And until people quit interfering with our abilities to really mesh a relationship, then, that's what it is. Cause there's no way in anybody's hell that I'm willing to take on every young man in the community, you know what I'm saying? And then do my best to raise three of my most powerfulest nephews and then incorporate two other young men that's just as powerful in my community. And then think for a second that I don't have the same compassion and passion I would have for my son to do that. It's the difference is that all of these young men that I work with in the community, the thing that doesn't happen is their mothers don't interfere with the relationship that I'm building with these young men. And that's one of the requirements that I have for any mom. Don't interfere. If you want me to work with your son, don't interfere with what we do and how we grow. You know what I'm saying? And so unfortunately for me and my son, that's not the relationship that we've ever to have. You know what I'm saying? I can't just build with my son without distractions or interferences. So until that stuff start to make itself sense, you know what I'm saying? Then, we're gonna keep figuring it out. You know what I'm
Well, hey,
saying?
I gotta say this, man. I've been in your shoes. Trust.
Mhm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
have four girls and a son, so
Mhm.
I've dealt with some outside entities getting involved with the relationships with my kids, and so I get what you're saying. I understand it. All you can do is just keep on believing, keep on loving, keep on grinding, keep on showing them you're there, and when the time is right, it'll
Yeah.
blossom. Right now, it's at its very it's at a very slow move, but at times when the time is right, it'll blossom. Trust me. I got a
I believe
25-year-old, a 21-year-old. I've went through the
it.
struggles and the grind of the ups and downs and outside people trying to interfere and
Yeah.
at point we just had to have a conversation, and once we finally got to a place where we could
Right.
conversate and talk
Right.
with each other and get out all of the things that we truly wanted to say and apologize and say that I'm
Mhm.
sorry and I've done this and I didn't mean to do this, but I'm here now and I will be here moving forward any chance you need me, anytime you need me.
Mhm.
It'll get there. Just enjoy
100%.
process of changing lives and know that he's watching
Yeah,
and
100%.
he
Yeah.
believes in his dad.
Yeah.
And
That's
when
my thing.
time is right, y'all be good, man. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's a
100%, bro. We're gonna be solid. And we're
yeah,
gonna be solid.
yeah, you know it, you know it. So this is the deal, man. Like I appreciate the conversation. I don't even think we touched the surface of a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about. I obviously wanted to get on a little bit about the TikTok and all of the things that you've been doing. You've been doing a lot in the community. We touched on a couple things, but you stay pretty busy.
Mhm.
So what I want to do is I think we're going to try and get into another one in the future because it is an hour in. right at this time. And
Yeah.
I appreciate you so much for being here, man. Is there anything that you want to ask me? Because I always ask all my people if they want to ask me a question about anything. Shoot me a question if you have any.
Yep. Yep. My question would be, I don't have brotherhood. I'm just not connected with a brotherhood with a friend of mine, and we're starting a community fraternity, starting with all the brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to incorporate you and invite you to a session of our conversation to see how you can contribute to expanding it into a bigger thing. You know what I'm saying? Our community frat is nothing I never had, and we'd love for you to just share thoughts on it, bro.
Easy, easy. I mean, I'm always willing to put my 2 cent in and share and be amongst strong, positive male role models. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of people that I roll with. I do this solo dolo. I have, my people that have sponsored me, but at the end of the day, this is all me. And I have very few people that I talk to on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, I should say. And so, any chance I get to be amongst good people, I'm with it. Just let me know the date, time, and where I need to be at, and I'll try and make sure that I'm there. Unless obviously if I have my kids or if I'm working, I'll make sure that I can be there, phone, email, laptop. Any chance that I can be a part of something positive, where we're lifting each other up and teaching each other and learning from each other. I'm with it. Let's get it. I'm with it.
I'm with you,
One.
bro. I appreciate Circle Talk Podcast. I appreciate you 100%, bro. David, I appreciate it, man. Real
Absolutely.
deal.
Do this again, man, because there's so much we need to talk about,
Yeah,
and
it
we'll get into it for sure, for sure.
is.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate all of you for watching and being a part of this. If you guys have not went to our YouTube channel, make sure you guys go to YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe, tap in. We're going to be back here next Monday with a young man that I've known. I think I've known him probably 3 years. He has his own barbershop school that he just opened up. We're gonna go meet him at his barbershop and talk about the journey from when we first met to now. Mr. Barry Crosby Jr. coming up next Monday. So tap in 12 p.m. next week, Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you guys later. Thank you again, Threat, for being here, brother. Appreciate your words, man. Amazing, amazing job. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Peace.